7th, everyone. Hunter here again at Weather on the Go, and in today's weather forecast, we have another tornado outbreak, unfortunately likely to unfold today across the Great Plains into the Midwest. So we have a moderate risk of severe weather from our friends at the Storm Prediction Center, upgrading those probabilities to a moderate risk for today. And we're going to break down the timing of the storms, the severe weather setup, and the storm risk that you can expect today as well. And we'll look at the long range pattern at your early May preview later on in today's video. So I really appreciate if everybody here today would subscribe to the channel, because we're going to be giving you all of the latest weather information throughout the year of what you can expect out your door. And also be sure to press the like button. We had a lot of tornadoes yesterday. We're likely to have a lot of tornadoes today. And if you press the like button, more people are informed about the severe weather that could be occurring later on today. So I really do appreciate that. Let's look back at yesterday. A very busy day for severe weather. Several tornadoes, several strong, violent, long-track tornadoes across eastern Nebraska, southwestern Iowa near the triple point of the low yesterday. That actually brought 78 tornado reports all told from Nebraska into Iowa, into Missouri, down into Kansas here. Very busy day for severe weather. Even some tornado reports down into Texas yesterday as well. So what are we seeing today here? Here's the synoptic pattern. We have a little bit of a trough, a bowling ball type trough across the Four Corners region today. This is actually going to eject up into the plains as we go into Sunday, April the 28th. And this is actually going to lead to our next threat for significant tornadoes and severe weather today. So here's the latest outlook from the Storm Prediction Center that was released at 8 o'clock this morning. A moderate risk, a level 4 out of 5 on the risk scale, is across southeastern Kansas, southwest Missouri, down into central portions of Oklahoma and North Texas, where a widespread zone of significant severe weather is likely. In the orange shaded color, that's a 3 out of 5 here. That extends all the way up into Kansas, Missouri, southwest Iowa, once again, unfortunately, and also into southeastern Nebraska, all the way back down towards central Texas. And then we have that severe weather extending just in general up towards southern Wisconsin, into northern Illinois, into portions of central lower Michigan as we go through the day. Here's the severe weather probabilities, what the storms could produce. You could see some very large hailstones up to 3 inches today in diameter. So some baseball, even some softball size hailstones today, especially into this purple shaded color across southeastern Kansas, central Oklahoma, into North Texas. That has a 45% probability of that occurring, of up to 3-inch diameter hailstones. And we are looking at the threat for some strong, if not violent, long-track tornadoes, those EF3 or stronger type of tornadoes in this environment as well, in the red shaded color especially. Again, across southeastern Kansas, central Oklahoma, and down into North Texas here. But anywhere in the yellow or red here, you do have a chance of a strong tornado. Anywhere on the map that has a color here, green, brown, yellow, red, you have a chance of a tornado here as well. And that extends all the way up into the Midwest, into northern Illinois, eastern Iowa, southern Wisconsin, and into central and northern lower Michigan through the day. We also have the threat for wind as well. Wind gusts over 70 miles an hour is possible, again, across southeastern Kansas, central and eastern Oklahoma, and North Texas. This is where we could start to see more of an MCS develop, mesoscale convective system that could produce hurricane force wind gusts through the day. So why are we seeing this? Well, here's the severe weather setup. Dew points off the western Gulf of Mexico advecting north here into the southern central plains, into the Midwest today. This will be leading to those 60s dew points up into this region. A strong dry line back here into the Texas Panhandle. That'll be progressing further east today. Ahead of that dry line and south of the warm front draped across the Midwest, dew points are going to contribute to some very high CAPE values. Your convective available potential energy, potentially summertime levels like we see in June and July across the Midwest into the plains, up to 4,000 joules per kilogram. That is extreme instability. A strong low-level jet to start the afternoon over 50 knots will only get stronger as we go through the evening, especially into that moderate risk zone for severe weather across southeastern Kansas, east central Oklahoma, and north Texas. Over 55, perhaps approaching 60 knots here this evening. That is actually going to contribute to those very high significant tornado parameter values across Kansas, parts of Missouri, even down here into Oklahoma and north Texas. Remember, a value greater than 1 is significant. We saw several of those values yesterday greater than 1, and we saw several strong and violent long track tornadoes yesterday. This same exact environment we saw yesterday is in place here as we go through today. So make sure you are remaining weather aware. Let's go through the timing here this morning. An isolated supercell possible back here toward the Altus, Oklahoma region, just well west of the Oklahoma City metro, near the eastern Texas panhandle and western Oklahoma this morning. That's pretty much the only game in town. As we go into the afternoon, peak daytime heating, we're going to start to pop some storms near the warm front up across the Midwest. That is around the Kansas City metro area, and then back there and through northern Kansas and maybe even in through southern Iowa as well. Further south, the dry line is going to contribute to some strong, if not violent, long track tornado potential for a time later this afternoon from southeast Kansas into central Oklahoma. This includes portions of Wichita, Topeka, all the way down into the Oklahoma City metro, into Tulsa, extending back into Lawton and Fort Sill, Oklahoma there toward the Red River Valley. Going into this evening, this is going to be a quick upscale growth into a QLCS line of storms, which is a fancy term for a kind of a squall line of storms producing all hazards still, including the strong tornado threat, even after dark through the evening, and that will progress further to the east very slowly early Sunday morning. And what is concerning as well, with on top of the severe weather threat, is the flash flooding threat here from northern Illinois back here through Missouri, the Ozarks region, all the way back down into Texas, Oklahoma here, and parts of Kansas, northwest Arkansas. These areas could be seeing thunderstorms repeatedly over the same areas through the night and into early Sunday, and this could lead to some very heavy rainfall amounts, especially down here toward Oklahoma and southwestern Missouri, southeastern Kansas. Areas here, some could see over 6 inches of rain over a 12-hour period, folks, so that's a lot of rain in 12 hours. That's why the Weather Prediction Center has a moderate risk of flash flooding as well in pretty much that same area that has a moderate risk for severe weather. So definitely a very volatile environment across this region through the weekend. And then as we go into Sunday, the severe weather threat moves further to the east a little bit, and actually not as significant on Sunday. Still though, a marginal to slight risk of severe weather, marginal risk in the dark green, a slight risk level 2 out of 5 in the yellow shaded color here. This includes wind and hail as the main threat for severe weather, so 60 mile per hour winds and some quarter-size hailstones, but a few tornadoes will also be possible as far north as Iowa again toward Des Moines, or as far south here again as Dallas, Fort Worth, Shreveport, and Little Rock, and even the Memphis region as well. So we'll keep an eye on that as we go through the day on Sunday. Let's look at the setup for the severe weather on Sunday. Warm front all the way up here through southern Wisconsin and towards the Rochester, Minnesota area. So we're going to see the warm front surging further north again. We can see dew points into the 60s all the way up there into Iowa, northern Illinois, even southern Wisconsin near Platteville here and over toward Janesville, Monroe. Those areas seeing those low 60s dew points on Sunday. Dry line not as sharp as we're kind of moving a little bit further away from our significant drought source across New Mexico, but still a pretty strong dry line there on Sunday will contribute to those moderate instability values of 1,000 up to 2,500 joules per kilogram all the way across the Midwest here and into the plains again, and a stronger low-level jet Sunday afternoon will continue to strengthen across especially the Illinois Valley, down here into the Missouri Ozarks and foothills region of Missouri as we go through Sunday evening, over 50 and even 60 knots once again. And again, a value greater than 1 here of significant tornado parameter is significant. We see a few values, at least especially down here into Missouri, Arkansas, eastern Oklahoma, East Texas, well over 1 here, peaking around 10s as we go through the day on Sunday. So ongoing convection, thunderstorm activity Sunday morning, probably going to be leading to more flash flooding potential, again, from portions of western Illinois through the Ozarks and then down into portions of the Arklatex here. Ongoing storms thunderstorms may either weaken or kind of re-intensify as we go into the afternoon. Supercell thunderstorms embedded here across the Arklatex. We'll be watching west of Little Rock toward the Fort Smith and Fayetteville, Arkansas region, back down toward McAllister, Oklahoma, and the Paris, Texas region. East of I-35, mainly with the most intense storms east of the Dallas-Fort Worth area Sunday afternoon. Going into Sunday evening, Sunday night, those storms progress further east towards the Mississippi River. So if you live around portions there of the Mississippi River there into St. Louis, in towards Memphis, and then down there towards portions of Mississippi, Louisiana, where the Mississippi River is there, those storms will be progressing eastward and weakening slightly as we go deeper into the night there on Sunday. Again, very heavy rainfall will be a big deal here Sunday into your Monday morning commute, especially across the southern plains and lower Mississippi Valley. This will lead to another slight risk for flash flooding, with a marginal risk of flash flooding extending further north into the Midwest, the upper Midwest, and the Great Lakes there Sunday and into Monday. Now going into the new work week on Monday, April 29th, the cold front will be extending from the Great Lakes all the way down into the lower Mississippi Valley. Low pressure system up near Lake Superior there in the upper peninsula of Michigan. And yes, there's enough cold air on the northern side, believe it or not, of this storm to produce a wintry mix of snow, but mainly in Canada here. So Ontario back into southeastern Manitoba, Canada, could be dealing with some wintry weather on Monday. And for the southern mode, we could have some severe weather across portions of southeast Texas near the coastal Texas, so Corpus Christi to Houston, up there toward Lake Charles, Louisiana here, extending toward Jackson, Mississippi there on Monday. This is just a level 1 out of 5, a marginal risk, but something we'll keep an eye on for Monday. And then finishing off April on Tuesday, April 30th, you can see a diffuse cold front moving east with some scattered showers through the Ohio Valley, into the southeast and Tennessee Valley there. New disturbance up there in Saskatchewan could lead to more storm activity across the Dakotas and Nebraska. Probably not too severe, though, thankfully, as we go into Tuesday. Look at the rainfall amounts. As we finish April here, going through Wednesday, May 1st, very heavy rains from the upper Midwest all the way south here toward the Gulf Coast. Some areas could see locally over 6 inches of rain before it's all said and done here through the month of April. So very, very heavy rains over the next few days. So make sure that you have a flash flood preparedness plan and, again, a severe weather preparedness plan. Have multiple ways to receive watches and warnings through the next few days. Turning into early May here, at the long range pattern, we have warmer temperatures, especially across most of the United States, east of the Rockies here, well above normal temperatures as we go through the 6th of May. A little bit cooler out here toward the Sacramento Valley in California, up through Oregon and western Washington, so Seattle, down toward Portland, the Medford region, and into Sacramento, California. We'll be seeing those cooler temperatures into early May. Also, a very active pattern here will persist. We'll have more troughs coming in off the west coast. That will give us above normal precipitation for the Pacific Northwest, the western United States in general, and then again across the plains, we'll be watching for more severe weather there through the 6th of May. And then going through the 10th of May, again, the warmer air will stick around here and the active pattern as well. So definitely keeping an eye again on more flash flooding events and more severe weather events as we go through the first 10 days of the month of May. And looking at severe weather climatology for early May here from our friends over at the Storm Prediction Center, you can see the bullseye is down here across the southern plains, really over central Oklahoma and North Texas for early May, but you could still see severe weather further north into the Midwest, the Ohio Valley, and even the southeast at times through early May, so we'll be keeping a close eye on that. Well, now is the time to prepare. We know what yesterday did for tornadoes, unfortunately, and we don't need to see that again today. Make sure, folks, to have a severe weather preparedness plan in place if you are in any risk zone for severe weather, whether it's in the Great Lakes, the Midwest, or even the Great Plains today. It's always good to have a tornado action plan in place in case a tornado warning does be issued for your area. Flash flood warnings as well. Seek higher ground because definitely you don't want to drive in any flooded roadways. That is definitely not something you want to do. So again, make sure to subscribe here to Weather on the Go. We'll keep you covered on the weather throughout the entirety of 2024. I would really appreciate if you guys would press the like button as well, and I will see you all in the next video.